Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Clint with Scottish Clans Podcast. And in this next video in the book review series, once again, I'm answering the question, hey Clint, where can I start? Do you have a reading list, a book list? Where can I go to deepen or broaden my understanding of the Scottish clans? Keep in mind specifically that my effort doesn't deal with Scottish history generally. It deals specifically with the part of Scottish history that is the Scottish clans. And so that's what we're focused on. So every time I talk about these books, I want to talk about specifically what value does this book contribute to my understanding of the clan specifically. So this next book that I want to do, my first one I did on this was by Michael Newton, The Everyday Life of the Clans of the Scottish Highlands. And the next one I want to do is also, just keeping with that, by Michael Newton, and it's called Warriors of the Word, The World of the Scottish Highlanders. Now, the whole book's not about the Scottish clans, but in the world of the Scottish Highlanders, they were a kin-based society. The whole thing was set up around these kin groups. And there's a lot of different words that we have in English, like clans, septs, branches, all that stuff. And actually in Gaelic, they have a lot of different words that indicate that they use for describing the kin-based society, like clan, like Kinnaid, like Shiel, Sliecht. I think that's a smaller grouping within a bigger clan. They have Canale. That goes way back. So anyways, there's different words that we can use for this kin-based society, but that's how the Highlanders were organized in this kin-based system. You can argue that at certain times in Scottish history that kin-based society was prevalent throughout Scotland, even in non-Gaelic speaking areas, but Michael Newton, who I believe is an independent scholar at this time. I tried to look up, see, because I had understood that he had been teaching at Chapel Hill, North Carolina, but I don't think I think he was there until 2017. Anyway, wherever he is and whatever he's doing, he's got a PhD in Celtic Studies from the University of Edinburgh. He knows a lot about this. He knows a lot about Gaelic culture. He spent a lot of time studying Gaelic as a language and studying the culture from primary sources. So a lot of the foundation of what he brings to the table is the original sources. He gets Gaels speaking about their own history. Now, the particular part of this book, the whole book, I read the whole book. I thought it was interesting. I've got it marked up and notes written in the margins of it. But specifically, chapter 4 on clan society, I found particularly useful. It has how the different groups were related to each other, the organization of clans, how they functioned, how this guy over here and his role related to the chief, and he'd have a guy doing this and a guy doing this, and how the tacksmen interacted and how he helped operate the territory that he had under his control. I don't know, there's lots. If you really want to dive into it, that's a good place to do. And then you can go from there and just about the Gaelic culture in general, spreading out around this kin-based society and going into other elements of their culture. So I found that this book, Warriors of the Word, was a very welcome introduction to my book collection. And like Everyday Life of the Clans of the Scottish Highlands, which I did another video on, this was a Christmas gift, but it was from a few years ago. Once again, from my wife. She knows what I like. But she's not terribly interested. So that's why I'm talking to you guys about it. I hope this is helpful. Maybe I'll mention some of the other things he talks about in here. What are the titles of the other chapters? He's got a chapter on. His first chapter is on themes in Scottish history. The next chapter is literature and oral tradition. You have clan society, family and personal life, belief systems and cosmology. That's really interesting there. Song, music, and dance, which a lot of us are interested in. That's actually a lot of us who are interested in the culture of Scotland, a lot of us have been drawn in via music. There's something about the music that touches for me personally, I'm interested in a lot of different music genres and that make me happy, and there's songs of different types that I love, but the traditional music of Ireland and Scotland, I'm not claiming they're the same thing, but they're closely related. It does something to me that other types of music that I really like don't do. And so anyway, he talks about that. So that if you became interested in the subject through the music, or since you got interested in it, you've really come to love the music, you really like that chapter there. He has one on human ecology. It's the title of another chapter, and then he gets into some conclusions. Now, the last thing I'll mention that I really find valuable about this is I'm always wanting to know, where can I learn more? And that's why I'm sharing this series of videos with you guys. But on that note, something that I find this very valuable about this book is his bibliography. It is extensive. There's so many other sources that he gives to you that you can springboard off from there. And this is what I've done actually to find some of the books that I have is from his bibliography. And then I go on Amazon and check them out. And if it's not too expensive, and it's even there, and then it's not too expensive, I drive forward and get it. And so that's how I've collected a few of the volumes that I have here in my collection. So hopefully that was useful to you. Hopefully if you decide this is something you want to try out, I recommend it. It's been of value to me, and I think I understand the Clans of Scotland better because of that book. So hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed these videos, if you enjoy the podcast, go over and check out my podcast if you haven't done that. It's just called Scottish Clans, same as the YouTube channel. Try to be as descriptive as possible, but go check out, I've been doing the podcast for over 4 years now, about 4.5 years. So go check out the podcast. If you like what I'm doing and you want to contribute, give back, if it's been valuable to you, then you can go to scottish-clans.com/team if you want to contribute. I do have an Origins of the Scottish Clans online course coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. If you want to reach out to me, if you've got a specific message that you think doesn't need to go to the comments below, go to thescottishclans@gmail.com. That's the best way to actually make sure that the message just gets to me. And until next time, Martin Leven de Rasta.